For the evil, devil-worshipping mega conglomerates! To cease the destruction of our beloved country! And the replacing of our purple mountain majesties! With corporate cookie-cutter retail spots!
We were going to mix this week at Sound Dimensions, and there have been a lot of bumps in the road. Gabe Friedman, can you tell us sort of what happened?
What we do usually when we do a sound designer, or when we meet with sound effects guys, they come to the Troma office and watch the movie. And then we sit there and have what's called a spotting session where we say, this is where we'd like this, and this is where we'd like that, and that, and that, and that.
Now, we're mixing at Sound Dimensions, who mixed Terra Firma and Citizen Toxie and good guys. Bernie Hayden has done a very good job for us. So we figured we'd be on schedule. I spoke to him, and he had two young boys, which is why I wanted to go back to him.
Two young boys?
Yeah, in other words, there were two young boys working for Bernie who seemed to be doing a lot more work than usual. In other words, it seemed last time Bernie did more of it, no?
Yeah, I thought so. They kept saying, oh, we're ready to mix. And then you said, hey, before we mix, let's just check out and see their sound effects. What we found was something that wasn't to our liking. It was actually kind of shocking how sophomoric, and that's pretty tough coming from us. The effects were. In fact, I was insulted by the sound effects that we saw. It was. I think the most egregious stuff was every time a girl took her shirt off, there was this horrible cowbell noise and whistles, like these cartoon. You know, the whole thing was like they took the Flintstones library and threw it into our movie.
Well, in a nutshell, I think these young boys did not know what to do. Yeah, they haven't done it before. What do you think the lesson is here, Gabe?
Don't trust anyone. Don't assume that people know what they're doing. Don't assume people understand what your vision is, and be an asshole. Be a complete and total asshole if you want to get the film done the right way. You're not here to make friends, and now they hate us. We work all this time and all this energy, and struggling to make this movie under low budgets, and now with the lack of respect I heard from these sound designers and from these sound effects and everything, it's obvious that it's obvious that we are schlock, and nobody likes us. And the biggest there's Bernie.
Can we talk to you? We want to film today a little bit. Bernie, these young men that you have working for you.
Yes.
I personally have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in their work. They're a little bit green. Do you think you can surmount that? I mean, all those cartoon noises, the same noises, and
well, I think that we will overcome the difficulties. I think that it is one of the realities of our current existence to have to deal with a level of expertise that no longer exists. We were professionals at one time, and now we're dealing with a new generation. It'll take them time to develop their own chops. But the budgets haven't increased, and we cannot afford to get the real pros. So we have to deal with what we have.
Very good answer. Thank you. So we're here to do chicken zombie noises, try to create performances out of the chicken Indian zombies, and then try to make the noise that they do make sound like chicken Indian zombies. But the zombies have to have performance, and the individual zombie characters have to be consistent. They can't change. So I think it's important to do it in continuity from the beginning first and then the end, the way we try to shoot. And but we're going to do, what are we doing? We're doing crowd scenes first to sort of get our voices, our chicken voices. Is that correct, Bernie?
That is correct. What I would like us is to be completely ready before I get everyone together in here, because I don't want to spend too much of their time while we're trying to figure it out.
Okay. the mood for this is what? Hostile chickens, right? We're trying to create a crowd scene?
Yes.
Yeah, that's this is the we're adding a little bit more specific monster noises to the scene where the heroes look outside the door and they see all the zombies approaching.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we'll do a pass ourselves
Okay.
to see where we fit it in, and
Okay.
then we'll call the rest of the gang in.
All right, sounds good. Let's do it.
We're going to try to give the chickens more, I think, individual performance then, and we were too mechanical with those chickens,
Yes.
I think. Okay. Okay. So Bernie suggests that we make the clucking longer, that we're too staccato. So Bernie, we make them longer clucking.
More sustained, yes.
Okay, sustained. Okay, Gabe?
All set?
All right. See what we got now.
So the point is, we're spending an entire day. We are spending an entire day here on making chicken Indian zombie performances, and we have to bear in mind it's not just chickens, but there's also the Indian aspect of it. So this is the chicken zombie attacking Taco Bell, and we're deconstructing it to try to talk chicken zombie talk while what's going through the chicken zombie's mind.
I'm going to shove your faggot head in the grinder.
Exactly.
Boy, do you want me to say, I'm going to shove your faggot head in the grinder? That's the line.
It's in the chicken word, in chicken talk.
All right, I got it. I think I got it.
Okay,
And it's very important that the performance comes across that first the chicken zombie is maybe thinking about his brothers and sisters being chopped up in that grinder, and then the chicken zombie decides, I'm going to go get this guy, and then he hates the guy, and then he pounces.
But I hear my own recording in there.
So that's what we're going to do now.
When you worked on Rocky, there was a scene. Rocky's training when he's fighting the chicken.
He used to chase me around. Stallone would chase me around. I was the chicken.
You got the touch.
Give me a cue.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
What do you think? How's that?
I think we'll
too much.
do the take.
Yeah. And I think I exploded too soon.
All right, well, let me do an impression.
Yeah.
See.
Okay, Bernie.
All right.
Well, Gabe, how does it work?
What?
How was it?
I thought it was beautiful. It's each one is beautiful.
I think Bernie's was the foulest. How many years have you been in this business?
40 or so. Even though I look like I'm 25.
And look at you now. Look at you now. So what's our approach now, Bernie?
The approach now is going to be to edit what we have just recorded, the choice track that we recorded, and we are going to evaluate that and then perhaps redo the performance based on the edit if we're satisfied that that's the way it should be.
So the idea now is what? We go back in the booth and what do we do?
We're going to reperform the chicken based on the new interpretation of where he should start, stop, and where we're going to hear the feet and where he's going to become active again.
First, let's review. First part is
Well, you start barking.
at the beginning, kind of contemplating.
Yeah, but you're doing the clucking that he hears.
Right.
So it's really a clucking
Until he
sound.
starts talking about praying, I cluck. Or when do I stop? Is
When he says, yeah, that is very distracting. And then you're like,
Then
oh,
he'll
shit,
stop.
I better
Okay.
shut up.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it your phone?
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well, this was on vibrate.
Let me just see who it is. I got one very important thing happen.
Okay. All right. Let me do one.
How was it, Gabe?
Perfect, okay.
Thank you.
So now we're doing what, Lloyd?
We are now, we're going to be doing the voice of the chicken that Carl Jr. is going to be pleasuring, and we've determined that we should give it kind of a dog, like a dog when the dog grabs your pants and won't let go. If Scorsese had done that with The Departed, it would have been a hell of a lot better, let me tell you.
When we cut away from
So Julian works here. Do you work? Do you do chicken noises for a living? What's your main job?
Yeah, mainly I do chicken. It's my job here. Chicken
And what else do you do?
noises and
When you're not doing chicken noises, what do you do?
I do a few roosters.
What do you do? What is your real job?
Sound designing.
Oh, very nice. Very cool. Oh, well, now you are...
And now chicken. Spotlighting as a chicken.
Okay, well, here we go, Gabe.
All right. So she's hacking.
She's hanging, and you're, I don't know, soothing him or something?
No, I'm ripping his arm off, right?
Are we going?
All right.
Anytime we should do it. Okay, we got it. Let's move on.
We did do it?
Yeah.
Good.
So it's about a quarter to one, and we're still going with the penis chicken zombie.
We were rolling.
What should the beginning sound like? Should it be more like...
Or just more innocent. More innocent. It's like, why are they letting me... Why are they calling me out?
We spent the whole day, not the whole day, but we spent 9 to 1 o'clock on Chicken Indian Zombies. And Bernie, how did it go?
I think we did pretty good work, and we made sure that we use all of our capabilities to imitate these chickens. And now we're going to.
What's the lesson for a young student, a student filmmaker? What would you say the lesson that comes out of this session is?
Well, you have to use your imagination and go for it.
Gabe? Oh no, that's not Gabe. Gabe?
That's Mike.
So how do you sum it all up for the students?
Well, we were trying to figure out how we could make great monster noises, chicken monster noises, and we tried real chickens and tried horror hunks, and we tried everything, but then we realized the true chickens were us.
We've been thinking about this since 2004, correct? How would we get the right noises? And it turns out that none other than Mr. Gabe Friedman turned out to be the best penis zombie monster on the face of the earth. Thank you, Gabe Friedman.
I don't mean to be cocky.
Over the years, many people have asked me, Lloyd, how do you create those amazing farts and explosive diarrhea sequences for your movies? Other than perhaps Merchant Ivory and Ingmar Bergman's farting and explosive diarrhea scenes, your scenes are the greatest. Well, for Poultrygeist, I'd like to share a few of the secrets of how we created those amazing sound effects. But please, whatever you do, do not tell George Lucas or Steven Spielberg about these high-tech methods of sound design, as we call it. Thank you. Even though you may think that all of these amazing farts and explosive diarrhea noises are made by the Troma staff, who tend to eat a lot of Mexican food, it is actually a much more complicated and involved task to create flatulence and explosive diarrhea. Let me explain. First of all, I would like to show you the special air pump. So air, of course, high-pressured, high-tech air is generated through this amazing high-pressure air machine into this amazing tube. Of course, the rubber tubing, when it is not being used to beat certain people into sexual ecstasy, doubles as a fart tunnel. And the tubes are next connected to the whoopee cushions, and then, of course, the amazing noise is created. There's always a plan B when you're making your own damn Troma movie, especially if you've got lots of farts and wind that you need to create. When there's a plan B and the electric air machine breaks down, then the faithful bicycle pump is something that is indispensable.
Then comes that terrible, high-pitched cluck. Yeah, just like that.
So the bird noise is primarily a what?
It's a donkey.
Is that the main noise?
Well, no, because it switches from like pigs to donkey to all sorts of animals, got a lion.
What is that?
That's a lion next to an elephant there.
So the bird is a lion, an elephant, a donkey. Great. So the thing is, when you make a movie, the sound that you record on the set is not enough. You have to record a lot of additional sound, not to mention music, not to mention what we call room tone, atmosphere, ambient noises, all that. And that all gets prepared ahead of time, and then it comes to a sound mix. And I'm here with Bernie Hayden. What is the sound mix? What does that mean?
Well, the sound mix is the final session in which we actually combine all of the elements that had been prepared for the film over a period of weeks preceding the mix. The mix is actually the final step in which all of these elements get combined.
How many soundtracks do you work with now? How many individual soundtracks that all get blended into one final track?
Well, the number of tracks has only increased because since we're doing it now on computers, there is more flexibility and physically less taxing to deal with these tracks. But the number has actually ranges between 40 and 50 different tracks that get combined.
And we end up with one mixed track that then gets married to the picture.
That is correct, yes. After the mix is completed here and approved by everyone, then an optical track is shot by a laboratory, and that gets married to the negative, and a new print emerges with all of the combined elements.
In a nutshell, how does a Troma mix on a modest budget differ from, say, Dreamgirls?
Well, in some sense, it probably is more complicated and more difficult because the recording conditions were not as controlled as a big budgeted film, and you don't have a big crew that you can deal with. So you have to be much more creative and know what you're doing.
Poultrygeist is about an 8-day mix. So a Hollywood mix would be how many days?
It would be about 3 to 4 weeks. It would take 20, 25 days, yes.
Corey, you're a young, beautiful young boy. Now, tell us, from your point of view, how does this movie differ from the other movies you've been mixing?
Well, I've done some documentaries before, but this is the first real narrative feature I've gotten done, and it feels really great.
And anything in particular about this Troma experience, the way you've learned something?
I never knew farts could get that loud. That's about it.
What about the mix?
The mix? I never knew you could mix farts. Yeah, I never knew you could mix farts that loud.
Any other thoughts, Corey, before we conclude? Any lessons that you've learned that you'd like to share with other young, beautiful boys, or other students, other young students?
Don't go in a booth with Lloyd Kaufman.